And what happened was amazing. All of these behaviors that she was exhibiting began to change. So she was no longer smelling those odors. She says the neighbors aren't doing that lately. They must have had a change of heart. What happened was really wonderful. Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Dean Howell, and we're going to talk about patient outcomes that Patricia had. So Patricia's been seeing me for years for physical complaints and usually ridiculed and made fun of me for wanting to kill parasites, yeast, fungus, and to avoid carbohydrates. She's not alone. A lot of people felt that same way. Well, one day we were greeted with a phone call, and Patricia's husband needed help picking her up off the floor. It turned out she'd had a stroke, and I started doing my physical medicine treatments that I learned 40 years ago, and she gradually regained the use of her body. During that time, we were able to control her diet. What happened was really wonderful. You see, she had a problem for a number of years where she had hyperacuity of her senses to where she thought her neighbors were attacking her with fumes and gases that only she could smell. Nobody else could smell it. And she similarly often thought that there were people talking secretly about her and making other remarks that were being withheld from her, that they were always there in their minds. You probably know people like that. Anyway, she'd been like that for years. It didn't really interfere with the rest of her life, so that was okay. But we started noticing some changes when we controlled what kind of foods came in. And finally, we further convinced her to take parasite, yeast, fungus, heavy metals, started doing our normal kinds of detox. And what happened was amazing. All of these behaviors that she was exhibiting began to change. So she was no longer smelling those odors. She says the neighbors aren't doing that lately. They must have had a change of heart. She started having less verbal combat with people, complaining and arguing less. And it got a lot better for a while. Then, as her overall rehabilitation from the stroke improved, she gained more control of her life. So she's never gone back to her old lifestyle entirely, so that the hyperacuity has never completely returned. But the way that it was for a while when she followed everything really well is the same thing that we could do for you or your significant others if they're having those same kinds of problems. So what you need to do is to let us help you by joining up with our association and then letting us give you the coaching that you need so that you can get better.